What is going on, everybody? Hopefully, y'all can hear me. If y'all can hear me, let me know. I need to see if. Let me see if this is too loud. So, yeah, I'm trying something new right now. Trying to see how this whole gaming thing is going to work. Oh, actually, I got to go live on Instagram. All right, here we go. I think we're live. I know this is kind of impromptu. So, you know, wanted to kind of check this out because I've been seeing some Christians. They've been doing a couple of Christians, not too many. Spoiler alert: Redeem Zoomer, Redeem Zoomer does this quite a bit, where he does the Minecrafting and kind of gospel live stream. So I don't know. I was checking it out because I do play Minecraft. Now this is what I do sometimes on my free time. You know, get into a little bit of Minecrafting, especially while I'm listening to like sermons and stuff like that. And I thought that I was kind of like the only person that did it until I saw Redeem Zoomer doing it, right? And when he brought that out, I was just like, oh, well, I guess I'm not the only weirdo, you know? But listen, as you guys come in, go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the like button as y'all come in. Eternally Outstanding says this has Redeemed Zoomer, and then from Inspiring Philosophy written all over. I didn't know that Inspiring Philosophy did Minecraft as well. Y'all let me know if that music is too loud. Maybe I can turn it down. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. I'm gonna turn on my phone. I'm gonna see if it's too loud on my phone. Because sometimes in the headphones it don't sound that bad. Alright, hold on 1 second. Let me see something. Because I don't see anybody typing anything yet. 1 second. I think I could probably turn it down just a little bit because I don't want it to be too loud to overtalk the stream. So let's do this. Let's go into the settings. Oh, that's not it. Yeah, let's do that. Turn it down to about right there. There we go. All right, cool. All right, let's do this. All right, so like I said, man, this is one of the things that I do in my free time, right? So when I'm not going live and I'm not working, I do play Minecraft. Now, I used to play Minecraft periodically. Whenever I had the time. But I don't know, I guess over the past few months, I decided I decided to kind of get back into Minecraft. Now, this person, Mari, is this my son, Jamari? That's what I want to know. If you are my son, Jamari, type a 1 or a thumbs up or something. Because that'll be cool if that is my son, Jamari. Grace and peace, brother Pete. Grace and peace. Oh, that's my son. Hey, listen, y'all give it up for my son. I'm going to go ahead and give him a hand clap. This is my blood son, 17-year-old blood son. He's watching the live stream right now. Listen, thank you, son, for showing up to the live stream. I know that you pop in here and there. Now, see, my son, he knows that I play some games. Now we be getting it in. Whenever he comes over, we be getting it in. All right? And yeah, he'll attest to this. That whenever I'm on my free time, I am playing Minecraft. All right, so this world that I'm on right now, this is a world that I've been working on for a couple of years now, and this is kind of like, and listen, y'all don't Y'all don't make too many jokes about my very basic world here on Minecraft. All right, so I'm not like Redeem Zoomer and all of these other guys. They got like elaborate castles and homes and all of that stuff. All right, so listen, let me tell you a little something about this world that I got. Right, or this base. Let me tell you about this base. Wait, how did this guy turn into a? This guy was just a villager. How did he turn into like a nomadic trader or a traveling trader? Man, yeah. Pete says he thought that I would never play Minecraft. Yeah, I get to there sometime. I just really started back playing because, especially when I travel a lot, sometimes I'd be bored, man. And I'm just be sitting in the hotel room, and I'm like, I just need something else to do. I need something productive, and I do listen to a lot of live streams and podcasts and stuff like that. But sometimes that stuff get boring because I'm one of those people to where I have to have my hands going at the same time. It's like I'm one of those people. I don't really like fidgeting and all of that stuff. But I do like doing things that's kind of productive. So Minecraft has become one of those things that I have kind of gotten back into recently over the past few months. So this is kind of like my little base right here. This is my main base. Now, when I found this base, this was an abandoned village. All of this was abandoned, you know, and it had no villagers, no nothing in it. So I actually had to bring villagers. Hold on, let me go ahead and switch this up. There we go. All right, my elytra is kind of low, so I can't do too much flying. But yeah, this village here was it was abandoned. So like a lot of these villagers that you see, I had to bring them into the village. I either threw them, like put them inside of a boat and drug them over, or they were zombies and I just turned them back into villagers, right? You know, so I found the zombie villagers, turned them back into regular villagers. But one of the reasons why I'm doing this right now is because I've been checking some stats and some demographics, and actually, right before I went live, I checked the analytics on my YouTube channel to kind of see what what demographic of people watch my channel. And surprisingly, I get a lot of young people, a lot of people younger than me, between the ages of 35 and no, I'm sorry, 24 and no, 25 and 34, all right? 25 and 34 people who watch my channel. And a lot of these people are probably in the age range to where majority of them probably do some type of gaming, because I know that there are some people in my era, or I would say in my generation, who still kind of do gaming and all of that. But not too much, right? We don't really game as much as a lot of these younger people do. So, long story short, I have seen a couple of Christian YouTubers kind of do some gaming and gospel sharing at the same time. And I decided that, well, it sounds like a good idea, but I didn't know if that was something that I really wanted to dedicate my time to because, everybody kind of got their own lane. So what I did was that, well, first of all, let me back up. Let me back up. I was sitting down having a conversation with my family, and we were, having family devotion time. And my 13-year-old, my youngest daughter, and my son, man, listen, they are great gamers, especially my 13-year-old. Now, my 13-year-old daughter, she is a whiz. All right. I mean, she is great at games. I cannot beat her. I cannot beat my 13-year-old when it comes to these games. She is she is great. So we were all having a conversation and sitting at the table, and we were talking about how there are some people who are like introverts, and how a lot of young people just don't get outside and play anymore, and how a lot of their interaction is online and video games and things of that nature. And I just kind of mentioned to her that you do have a lot of people or well, you have some Christians. I won't say a lot, but you do have some Christians who do go out and they have some streams. Like I think that there's this one guy named Corey Kenshin, right? So Corey Kenshin, he plays a lot of games, and he's a Christian, but he doesn't really do too much gospel spreading on his channel. But he does mention the Lord and Jesus, and I think periodically he will recite some scriptures and stuff like that. And I got to thinking, maybe this is kind of the direction that some of us need to be going into. Not, maybe not me myself, but maybe some others, because I don't know how long or how much I'll be doing, how much I'll be doing this. But I thought that, if this is an avenue to reach people with the gospel, then, maybe we should consider it. Maybe we should consider it. Let me go ahead and take a look at some of these comments. Pete says, I just played Destiny's 2, and what is that? What do you say? FPS game. You may not know it. Now I've heard of Destiny. I never heard of SB2. I'm sorry, what is that? FPS? I don't know what FPS is. I probably know what the name is, but I probably just don't know the acronym. Lakeisha said, oh, let me go ahead and give a horn and a hand clap. Grace and Peace Lakeisha, who is a supporter of the channel. She's been a supporter of the channel for a while. Okay, you said first person shooter. Yeah, now I used to play a lot of stuff like Black Ops and all of that stuff. I really haven't played it in a while. I'm kind of like, kind of more mellowed out and chill. Now I do play another game called Brawlhalla. All right. Now these are kind of like, the only two games that I play. TJ says, Allison, did you beat the game? Yeah, I did. I beat the game. All right. I beat the game. And if you don't believe me, actually, that's what we can do. Let's go ahead and go to the Ender World. All right. We're going to go to the Ender World so I can show you that I did defeat the dragon. Oh, actually, I need to do this first. I don't know if I'm just live streaming, but it seems like it's a little laggy. Hold on, wait. Let me get my mouse right. All right. Exit out of this. All right, let's go. But yeah, I think that nowadays, as Christians, we are gonna have to try to find certain avenues to reach other people, other believers, because believe it or not, you do have a lot of kids who are Christian, or they have Christian backgrounds or Christian households and stuff like that. And some of these kids, they don't have much interaction except for being online in some of these gaming communities. And trust me, there's a lot of weirdos in these gaming communities, right? There was a lot of weirdos out here. And talking to my daughter, and she kind of put me onto this, my 13-year-old, right? So she tells me that Roblox is now getting to a point where there's been a lot of, like, I guess you would say, like, child predators or stuff who are showing up in these gaming communities, trying to prey on children and trying to get children to and just trying to meet up with children and all of these weird things. They're posing like they're other children. They're posing like they're like really nice people and all of this stuff. So we do have a lot of predators who are showing up on these platforms. And actually, I think that there was an article that I read not too long ago where Roblox, I would say that people are starting to call out Roblox right now because they're not really putting in too many measures to try to curb a lot of the child predator behavior that is showing up on their site and on their games, right? So, and actually, I had some stock in Roblox, and it was growing. I had a few dollars invested in the Roblox, and so, but after I heard that information, I just said, you know what, let me just go ahead and just pull my money out of Roblox because I really don't want to support that. So, but that was just one of the things that we were talking about as a family, because these things are real, especially if you guys got children or if you got family members who are young. We want to do as much as we can to protect them, right? Lakeisha says, I heard that about Roblox. A lot of parents don't monitor their children on Roblox, so it's easy for predators to access. I'm sorry. Yeah, for it's easy for predators to access to the kids. So yeah, yeah, that there are a lot of people who are using a lot of these gaming sites and um, especially like YouTube videos and stuff, because what ended up happening, especially, and I'm gonna tell y'all what happened with us, right? So my wife and I, we have to constantly monitor what my 13-year old is doing, not because like she's like super sneaky or anything like that, but what ended up happening one time, this was like a few years ago, and this is what made my wife really start monitoring what my 13-year old was doing, because like she'll be watching all of these videos from like Roblox and Minecraft and all of this stuff here. And it starts out innocent. But what ended up happening was that, hold on one second, let me take this off. So what happens is that with the algorithms, with YouTube, it'll start suggesting you. I'm trying to figure out, oh, where was I going? Oh, okay. I was going to the end of the world. All right. So, and actually, I built all of this, you guys. All right. So all of this is kind of like my nether highway. So I put all of this together, because it helps me travel the nether world, you know, pretty simple. So I don't have to like go through the nether and be attacked by mobs and all, all of that stuff. But anyway, my daughter, she used to watch these videos with Roblox and Minecraft and all of that stuff, and YouTube kept feeding her all of these different videos and all of this stuff pertaining to Minecraft and Roblox. And it starts out innocent, but what ended up happening was that you had people who would make these Roblox and Minecraft animations, but it would be strictly it would be like adult content, right? So you think that your child is just watching some video online or some video on YouTube, and it's just some innocent video, that kids watch pertaining to like Minecraft and Roblox, and you think it's nothing of it because you may walk by them and you may see them watching that stuff and think nothing of it. But what was happening, or what happens, I would say, is that some of these videos that these people make with the Roblox characters and all of that stuff, it has a lot of sexual content to it. You see what I'm saying? So they would take these Roblox characters and they would come out with these whole channels, and I mean these children would be watching some of this stuff, and it would just be some of this sexually explicit content under the banner of Minecraft or Roblox or something like that. So we really had to stop her and start monitoring her when it came to her watching some of these videos. So I started to think that it's pretty sad that we live in a day and age to where it seems like that children are being exposed to a lot of things that they shouldn't be exposed to. And it's not the fact that these kids are going out looking for it, but you have a lot of sick people out here who are going out here and targeting children through means of like video games and just child content. Like we see that a lot. But here's the thing: the Bible has been warning us about this, right? So the Bible warns us about a lot of these people who are going to be after our children. Because I mean, think about it. If you were Satan, like who would you go after? I'm sorry, who would you go after? Right? Like who would be your target audience? It wouldn't be somebody who is 60, 70 years old that's in the church, the 45, 50-year old who's studying the Bible and trying to lead their family in the admonition of the Lord. You will go after the children because children are pretty innocent. and they don't really think about a lot of these things. They're pretty, oblivious to a lot of these, to a lot of messaging and a lot of this extremely sexual content and just debauchery. But because my wife and I, especially my wife, like she is like really really discerning, so she can point this stuff out or see this stuff from a mile away, right? Um, but the children are not so discerning, and I think that this is why we see so much of a push for like the LGBT stuff inside of the schools and the LGBT stuff inside of the stores. And, whenever Pride Month comes about, you see all of the LGBTQ rainbow flags and all of those things, transgender flags in the kids section, especially like with their clothing and all of that. And it's just like, pride stuff everywhere, you know? So, we really have to be mindful and we have to watch over what our children are partaking in, you know. Grace and peace, you guys. I'm seeing some people, uh oh, wait, hold on. I'm hearing a zombie. Uh oh. All right, my bad. All right, so see, he tried to get the drop on me. He tried to get the drop on me. I'm trying to talk to the family. He just slid up behind me. Grace and peace, you guys. Grace and peace. Robert M. Grace and peace. And said, "What you doing?" Listen, I'm trying something out new. Trying to have some godly conversation while doing something that I usually do on my free time. Which is play Minecraft. Trying to integrate the two. All right, so just trying something new. This is kind of something that I think that Redeem Zoomer does. I thought it was a pretty good idea. So I said, let me go ahead and try this out. Let me go ahead and try this out and see how this works out. Jermaine Wilson says, "Hey, my brethren." He says, "I'm on NBA 2K26, 2K26, but yes, these games are crazy." Yeah, man, it's yeah, these games are getting more and more crazy. And listen, as I get older, man, these games get harder and harder. And I think because my hands and my fingers are too fat for the controllers, man. So you know, I'm just like, man, it's just getting kind of tough. Oh, man, I don't know what's up with these zombies. I'm trying to figure out which way I'm going. I think I'm going the right way, but I'm trying to get to the end of the world, y'all. To show somebody asked me that I beat the game. I want to show them that I did beat the Ender Dragon. I actually beat the Ender Dragon a few months back. You know, beat the Ender Dragon a few months back. But yeah, these things can be pretty innocent. Video games can be pretty innocent and they can be pretty neutral. Um, but we know how people operate. There's some really sick people out there, and people would use stuff like these video games to try to target your children. And this is why we have to be watchmen, especially as dads. Like we got to be better watchmen over our children. You know what I'm saying? We got to be we have to be watchmen over our children and over our families. Because the enemy is out there and the devil is going to use any means to try to target the next generation. And I remember when I was a kid, right? My great grandmother, she used to tell my mother all the time. She used to say, "Baby, see, the devil is after your generation. I'm sorry, after that, after those babies' generation. See, they ain't, the devil ain't after your generation. He's after them babies." And she was talking about us because at the time I was like a kid. I was like 7, 8 years old, and she used to tell my mom, she's like, the devil ain't worrying about your generation because y'all already hard headed and stubborn, so he ain't really worried too much about y'all, but he's after those babies, and that always stuck with me. That always stuck with me, man. I'm trying to figure out. I know I'm kind of going in the right direction, but hold on, let me see. I'm trying to figure out. Let me see. I gotta go. Wait, hold on. Let me see. Okay, I gotta go back this way. I gotta go back this way. But yeah, my great grandmother, man, she used to always, talk about how the devil was always after our generation, and she was right. She was right. Because nowadays, people in my generation, and I hate to say this, especially when we're dealing with like secular people and all of that stuff, it seems like that a lot of people my age, because I'm actually 43. So a lot of people my age who are raising children seem like that they're trying to compete with their kids, right? Like I'm seeing, some of these women they're trying to go out and get BBLs and all of this stuff here, and they're trying to They're still going out to the clubs and hanging out and doing all of that stuff. Oh, excuse me. You know, and you have some of these guys, they're still out here trying to live in their second childhood, and they're just leaving some of these kids to basically just raise themselves. And I just feel like that, my generation is leading a lot of the next generation astray. Like a lot of the Gen Z and Gen Alpha kids, like they're growing up where, and my wife and I, we were just talking about this, where a lot of these kids, they don't know what it's like to not have the internet. You know, they don't know what it's like to have to go to a payphone or to go to a neighbor's house just to just to call your mom, just to let them know that you made it home from school. That they're not in a latchkey kid era. So like we grew up in a lot of that stuff to where we didn't have a lot of technology. Like we didn't even have VCRs, and we didn't have computers and stuff like that. So hold on, wait, let me see. Hold on, there we go. Hold on, I'm trying to fly. Hold on, I'm trying to fly, y'all. Trying to see if I can fly. I ain't flying. I'm supposed to fly, but anyway. So these kids, they're growing up with a bunch of technology, and they have a lot of access to the world that we couldn't even dream of having. You know. Oh wait, hold on. Do I got? Yeah, I got my elytra on. I don't know what's going on. I'm not flying yet. Oh, there we go. All right, hold on. Let me see. Oh, there we go. All right, I'm flying now. All right. So, but yeah, there's a lot of a lot of kids don't. They have a lot of access to things that we couldn't even possibly dream of having back in the day. So, but at the same time, we have a lot more predators that have a lot more easy access to our children, and this is where we have to be very careful. We got to be very careful. We got to monitor our children a lot more than what our parents had to monitor us. You know. So I just think that when it comes to doing things like this, and I know some of the older folks, they're not really into video games and stuff like that. Um, but I hope that one day we can encourage some of the youth, especially those who are into the Bible, and who are who are willing to spread the gospel, to kind of use stuff like this as a way to you know spread the gospel and get the message of Christ out. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. Grace and peace, Sister Sheila Mahone, horn and hand clap for my for another one of my supporters up in the house. Grace and peace, Sister Sheila. Grace and peace. And I see the brother Win Marshall up in the house. I'm trying to figure out. I know it's around here somewhere. I got another little town that I can go to where I have to show y'all. Where's my other base where I can kind of go to the end of world? It's around here somewhere. I'll find it. Oh, I think I'm close by. Let me see. Nope, I ain't close by. Grace and peace, grace and peace. Sheila Mahone says, what are you doing? And who you calling? Oh, listen, sis, I'm gonna tell you like this. I hit dog a holler. I hit dog a holler, sis. Listen, I'm old too now. I'm old too. But yeah, I'm just you know, just playing some Minecraft, chopping it up with the fam, with the Christian fam. I'm trying to figure out where this base is at. Where's this base? Unless I'm tripping, I must got my coordinates wrong. Oh, is this it? Can't be it. Let me see. He says, Alton, have you ever played um do you ever play story games? I did. I used to play some story games. Um I played story games before. I kind of like it. It depends on what the game is. You know, I do play. Well, I don't really play as much as I used to, but yeah, I do kind of play some. I used to play some story games back in the day. Now, the last one that I did that was pretty good was was Horizon. Now, Horizon was pretty good. I like Horizon. Horizon was a good game. You know, my kids liked it, and when I bought the PS4, um, it Horizon came with the game, so I just started playing it, and and it was a pretty good game. It's a pretty good game. Sister Sheila says she don't like this. Well, I'm sorry, sis. You know, you might not like it, but you know, ain't nobody else complaining, sis. Ain't nobody else complaining. I think I gotta go this way. Hold on, let me see. Sister Sheila Mahone be hating, man. She be hating, but it's all good, y'all. It's all good. But yeah, we definitely got to protect our family out here, man. We got up. Here we go. This is it right here. This is it right here. Oh, all right. He says, start a gaming channel with HA says he loves gaming too. I don't know. We might need to do something. We probably do need to do something together. You know, call it gaming and gospel. How about that? Gaming and gospel. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing that Sheila hate. She hate that B3, but that's all right. We're gonna get her right. We're gonna get her right. You know, we can't be too we can't be too tough on her because you know she the same age as my parents, so you know gotta make sure that we give some grace and space even for the elders, y'all. Listen, as y'all come in, hit that like button and that notifications bell if you are new to the channel. Listen, I don't know what's up, but my son was in the chat, and now my daughter is in the chat. Let's go ahead and give her a horn and a hand clap. This is my daughter right here. She says gaming and Bible chat. That's what I'm talking about. Listen, the spirit be moving in this house. I don't care what anybody say, including Sister Sheila. Spirit be moving in this house. All right. Let me see. Jasmine Wilson says gaming and gospel sounds right. I love gaming as well. That's what I'm talking about. Drop a bomb. Drop a bomb for Sister Jasmine. See. Look at Robert. Look at Robert M. He said, "Don't hate the B3." Listen, we're gonna do this for Robert M. Yeah. Can't hate that B3. I don't care what anybody say. Can't hate the B3, y'all. Do not hate the B3. It's the only way that we can get the spirit to move is when you have that B3 playing. All right. All right. So let me see. Okay. Which way am I going? Oh, okay. All right. So I'm gonna head to the end of the world, y'all. I'm heading out to the end of the world. And if y'all don't know what that is, ask your children. All right, or your grandchildren. All right. Get that meat. There we go. All right. Wait, did I get that? Yep, I got it. All right. But yeah, if y'all got any just general questions or anything like that, you know, go ahead and ask me. I'll see if I can try to answer it to the best of my ability. I'm not really doing too much concentrating, you know, because I kind of already, you know, played played a lot of this, so I kind of know where I'm going, you know. So if y'all got some questions, y'all want to know anything about the bruv, just let me know. Just ask me, and I'll answer it to the best of my ability. Oh wait. Ah. Okay. Now see, I wasn't supposed to do that. All right. But see, I got this enchantment called Feather Falling. So therefore, even if I do fall from a high place, uh I ain't gonna die. All right, so now I gotta try to build my way back up. Gotta build my way back up. Ah! Now I got the little, where is he at? Okay. All right. Ah, wait, I hear something. All right. Oh, there you go, right there. There you go. The little kid zombie right there. Legit zombie. So I ain't even doing anything to him. He's trying to attack me. Oh, there you go. There you go. Bro, hold on, man. Where you at? Did he die? Nope, he's still down there. Ah. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, there we go. All right. I usually don't like doing violence to kids, but he was asking for that. All right. Now, where was I? Here we go. All right, here we go. Let's do this. He says, you ever heard of Fortnite Alton? Now, my daughter, my 13-year-old, she is a beast on Fortnite. All right? She is a beast on that. So, I played Fortnite a couple of times, but, you know, I haven't really played much of it. Ever since she ever since she started playing games, you know, I just, I just can't play those games anymore because she's totally taken over, you know, with like Fortnite and all of that stuff. And like I said, I've kind of gotten to a point to where those kind of games don't really hold my interest anymore. Now, I will say that this game right here, Minecraft, this is one of the games that really hold my attention. All right, this game kind of holds my attention, I guess, because you know I like to build stuff. I think I need a new mouse, man, because this thing here is acting up. So yeah, this game here, you know, I could just kind of like zone out for a couple of hours on this, you know, especially before I like go to bed or something like that. All right, let me see what else. Oh, hold on. Yeah, for some reason I don't know what's going on with my mouse. I used to be able to just hold that, but I don't know. It's kind of lagging though. I guess because I'm going live, so I don't know. We're gonna get through it, y'all. We're gonna get through it. We're gonna work it out. All right. Okay. So yeah, you know, I'm an 80s baby. I was born in 1982 and kind of grew up in the gaming era, right? So, I think that the first video game console that I ever played was Nintendo. And I'm talking about the first Nintendo. I ain't talking about like Super Nintendo, right? Let me see. TJ says, "How long did it take you to beat the game?" Um, Now I will say this. I played this game. Now what you're seeing right now, I've kind of had this map for like I want to say maybe about 2 years. Um, yeah, I've kind of had this map for about 2 years, but I've always played it like periodically. I never really played much of it. I was just kind of like off and on. I didn't really start getting serious about it until maybe about 5 6 months ago. But then when I really started getting serious, I think it only took me about maybe about a month to beat it. I mean, the Ender Dragon, he's pretty easy. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty easy to beat the Ender Dragon. So, but yeah, I've been playing this, you know, seriously for about a good 5 months. And what I mean seriously is probably more than more than twice a week, but you know, less than like 4 days a week. So, but y'all can see I done carved out these little pathways. I got my little torches down, so I know exactly where I'm going. So I done made my way all the way to the stronghold. Let me see, which way do I go? Do I go this way? Nope. I think I go this way. Yep, this way. Uh, Jasmine say, my apartment is Christian. Oh, my apartment is Christian gamer vibe. RGB Jesus saves neon side. It's really awesome. Yeah, Sister Sheila, you might want to yeah, you might want to maybe get off of this live stream or just listen only because it probably will make you dizzy. You know, anybody who has like vertigo and all of that stuff, this probably will be making you dizzy with all of the movements and stuff. But yeah, see, and the thing is, it's just like I said earlier, we have a lot of people who are gamers who kind of do this on a regular basis. And but how often do we kind of use this as an opportunity? I'm not saying that we should, but how many times do we use stuff like this as an opportunity to connect with, you know, to connect with other believers? Oh, excuse me, to connect with like-minded believers and um, you know, and just and basically just talk, just talking in game. Now I will tell you this. Um, I'm not promising that this is something that I'm going to be doing all the time, but I will tell you this. I will be probably doing some of this stuff periodically, right? So yeah, I did beat the Ender Dragon. I'm here in the Ender world with all of these Endermen, and I hate coming here because if you look at them for like 2 or 3 seconds, they'll start attacking you. So, but the Ender Dragon, he was flying around here. I ended up killing him. Uh, and this is where I killed him at, right here. You know, got the uh oh, uh oh. Told you. Look at her. He's trying to fight me. Ah. All right. Watch out. Oh wait. Oh, where you at? Where you at? All right. So he's trying to attack me. Trying to attack me. Yo, watch out, man, bro. Chill out. All right. That's why I hate coming here. Because sometimes you can inadvertently have these dudes come after you. But anyway, but yeah, I just want to show you guys that I did beat the Ender Dragon. So, you know, I am back. I am back. Sheila says, "Thou shalt not kill." Listen, that text says, "Thou shalt not murder." Thou shalt not murder, sis. That's the way that it's translated. Because if thou shalt not kill, then that means that when God ordered the Israelites to kill people, that means that he would have been unjust. So killing is biblical. Righteous killing is biblical. But murder is always wrong. And that's actually anti-Christ and anti-God. Hold on a second. Somebody just texted me. Okay, here we go. All right. Let me see. Yeah, so I'm seeing you guys saying some stuff in the chat. Seeing you guys say some things in the chat. How did y'all like that live stream that I did last night? We talked about Sola Scriptura versus I should have put it as Sola Ecclesia, but in a way, I did want to kind of stir the pot. So I kind of wanted to get some honest engagement, right? So I didn't want to just go Sola Ecclesia because, Roman Catholics and Orthodox, they would say that, hey, we don't believe in Sola Ecclesia or anything like that. So I didn't want to really stir the pot. So I just said, okay, church tradition versus Sola Scriptura, because I did want to, have some honest dialogue, honest engagement, because that's what I'm about. And I'm going to start having more and more of these dialogues, these honest dialogues, to where we could just come together and just have some honest conversation and try to parse some of these things out. Especially when it comes to like church history. Church history, and I tell everybody this: church history can be very complicated and very messy at times. So that's why I tell people, don't just get to the point to where you just lock in with one particular group and say, this is my group and I'm just gonna defend them to no end, right? Because what's gonna happen is that if you lock yourself in with the group and then somebody else starts to pull out some of the history and some of the heinous things that your group has done, then you're going to be forced to defend that group, based on all of the heinous stuff that they've done. Like, for instance, like, people call me a Calvinist, and I really don't consider myself to be a Calvinist. Now, theologically, yes, because, I robbed the 5 points. All right. So I robbed the 5 points of Calvinism. But that's why people call me a Calvinist. But I don't really lock arms with people who call themselves Calvinists because, and there's a few reasons. Now, I'll probably say the main reason is because most Calvinists, or I would say, if you look at what Calvinism teaches historically and what I believe today, they probably would have burnt me at the stake, or chopped my head off, or given me the triple baptism. All right. So, and that's what the Calvinists were doing back in the day, because let's just say during the Reformation, because we all know that the Reformation had become successful, right? The Reformation became successful. Roman Catholicism was dying. Protestantism was becoming pretty popular. So once the Calvinists had gotten into power and they had, linked arms with the state, they actually started persecuting people who did not believe like them. All right? Like the Anabaptists. So the Baptists who did not believe in baptizing children, they would perform what is called a triple baptism. Now, what a triple baptism was that the first baptism that you had, that would be your first baptism. The second baptism is what they would do is that they would tie you up, bind you by your hands, and they would lower you into this river, right? I forgot what the river, the name of the river, but I think it was like somewhere in Germany or somewhere where, I'm sorry, either in Germany or France. So they would lower you into this river, right? They will lower you down there and leave you down there for a little bit, and then they will bring you back up. Just enough so, to where you start spitting up and coughing up water and all of that stuff. And then as soon as you finally caught your breath, they would lower you back into the river and then just let you stay there until you drowned, right? So that's what they did. That was considered the triple baptism, all because you did not want to accept the type of baptism that they were the baptism that they were portraying, right? Because Calvinists historically believed in infant baptism. All right, so they believed in infant baptism, and they didn't believe in. I don't think that they believed in sprinkling. I don't think that they believed in sprinkling. Now, Sister Sheila Mahone says, Baptists got it right. Listen, let's go ahead and E3. Yeah. So that, and I say all of that to say that this is the reason why I don't hold to the whole Calvinist view. I'm sorry, I would say that I would say that I don't link myself, or I don't consider myself a Calvinist, because I know some of the history of the Calvinists, and some of that stuff is just hard to defend, and some of that stuff I disagree with myself. Also, you have another group of people that are rising up, the Christian nationalists. And the Christian nationalists consider themselves to be Calvinists, and what do you call it? 1689 London Baptist Confession and all of those things. They claim that they hold to the same ideologies that we hold to. But I guess you would say the quote unquote new Calvinists are the guys who believe that we need to take over the government and we need to influence the government to where we need to make America into a Christian nation again, or we need to make it a fully Christian nation. Now, it sounds good on the surface, right? So it sounds good. Yeah, let's go ahead and make America into this Christian nation. But here's the problem with that. Majority of these guys who are promoting this whole quote unquote Christian nation, quote unquote Christian nationalism, these guys are racist. All right. These guys are staunch racists. And when they say that they're trying to go back to the quote unquote golden era of the United States, they believe that people such as myself, a Black American, or some people call FBA or foundational Black American, I would be okay to live in this Christian nationalist nation, right? Like, I will be okay because my ancestors are descendants of slaves. So they would say, well, you're kind of a foundational Black American. You're okay. You can stay here. But anybody who's an immigrant, anybody who is, born to immigrants or anything like that. Hold on. All right, I had to put in some work just now. Take care of that piglin. But anyway, um, but any person that is Black American, descendants of slavery, they can stay in America. But anybody who is an immigrant or are the descendants of immigrants, they would basically ship off and um, send them back to whatever country that they came from, right? No matter if they're Christians or not. Um, and also, they don't believe in interracial mixing. So, a black person and a white person having children, that child will be basically illegitimate. And I forgot the term that they use. Miscegenation. So they say that black people and white people should not have children together, and low key they would call that an abomination. So a child who was black and white mixed, that would kind of be an abomination in God's eyes, right? So they have a lot of racial undertones and a lot of racial tendencies and all of this stuff here. So but these are people who claim to be Calvinists and they claim to be Reformed and all of that. So that's why one of the reasons why I just kind of I'm very careful about calling myself a Calvinist, but theologically, yes, I would say theologically, I can consider myself a Calvinist, but I'm not going to consider myself a Calvinist as in, wanting to be a part of that group and trying to defend every point or everything that the Calvinists do. Grace and peace inside the lines. Grace and peace. We got another supporter up in the house. Pete says, I know a guy who said Asians like us gotta sit down and let the white people teach us the gospel. Now, was that guy who said that? Was that TFG who said that? Was that TFG who said that? Or was that somebody else that you're talking about? Yeah, Inside the Line says, is that all Christian nationalists? To be honest, no, it's not all Christian nationalists. But I would probably say that the people who are the face of Christian nationalism or who are kind of spearheading the movement are the ones who have those particular ideologies. And this is where I think that people who are Christian nationalists who don't have those ideologies, that this is where I think that they really need to start denouncing a lot of these people and start letting these people know, like, hey, you guys are in sin. You guys are in sin, and you guys need to repent of this. This is not of God, and what you guys are perpetuating is actually doctrines of demons. And this is what I charge all groups with. Whenever people start to kind of link themselves with like certain groups and certain ideologies, and when people say, well, there's bad apples in every bunch. Yeah, but if the bad apples are the ones that's kind of leading, or they're kind of the face of your movement or your ideology, then I would think that you may want to try to get a handle on that. And you guys need to start denouncing those people because they're making the rest of the group look bad. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, just like Sheila says, she says that they don't care. You know. Let me see. Pete said that was a guy named what's his name? Oh, Pickle Rick. I don't know who that guy is. You know, he says his other name is Holy Spirit Streets, a hyper dispensationalism. I'm sorry, hyper dispensational list. Hyper dispensational list. Yeah, and that's the thing too. We got a problem with a lot of people calling themselves Christians who are really not representing Christ biblically. And that's another problem that we have right now. Um, within the body of Christ. We have a lot of deceived people out here, and unfortunately, we got a lot of people who are deceived, who are mixed in with the people who are really just trying to serve the Lord, with all of their heart, spirit, and mind. You got some people that's just really just trying to seek the Lord, but you have a lot of people who are not really, who are not willing to seek the Lord. There's just people out here who call themselves Christians and they just jump from chat room to chat room and channel to channel just to argue, you know. Let me see. TJ says, "What do I think of ortho bros?" All right, so the ortho bros. Okay, I'm gonna try to be charitable because I was gonna say something, but I'm not gonna do that. You know, I'm gonna try to show the spirit of Christ right now. Which what we all should. We should be showing the spirit of Christ. Um, I think that the ortho bros are basically a bunch of young guys who have found something new. These are probably guys that have grew up Pentecostal, or they grew up um, Protestant, or some of these guys have not even grown up in church, but you know, they found a community online that they can link themselves with, and now they're kind of getting to a point where they listen to guys like Jay Dyer, especially Jay Dyer. He's kind of like their hero, and they see that the way that Jay Dyer acts, so they kind of they try to mimic what he says and what he does. And there's nothing gospel centered about Jay Dyer. Now, I mean, he'll bring out some things about church history, and he's brought out some good information to use against Roman Catholics. But Jay Dyer is not a person who shows the fruit of the spirit. And if I have to judge, I don't think that Jay Dyer is saved. So what happens is that you get a lot of guys who look at Jay Dyer, and just like we were talking about earlier, a lot of these guys, their only interactions are online with other people. They're not really connected with the sound church, or they don't really have any any positive male figures, any real men in their lives to kind of show them, like, to show them that, hey, this is not the way that men are supposed to, that they're not supposed to conduct themselves, especially Christian men. Christian men are not supposed to conduct themselves in this particular manner. So what happens is that these guys spend a lot of their time online arguing with Protestants, Roman Catholics, especially Protestants. And a lot of times these guys, they don't know what the heck they're talking about, especially when it comes to church history. And I used to, when I first started talking about Roman Catholics and Orthodox, I had a lot of those ortho bros show up, and some of them hopped on the panel, and I started to show them that they didn't know as much church history as they thought that they knew. So they kind of don't come back over here anymore. They kind of know they kind of done fell back, you know. So yeah, just like Jasmine says, she says we've encountered those folks out there for real, for real. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, ortho bros. And we gotta pray for some of these guys. We gotta pray for some of these guys, because to be honest, when you see these guys crashing out online and acting the way that they act, you could tell that the highlight of their lives, or the highlight of their days, is their interactions online. It's not really spent with the word of God, and trying to um and really trying to get to know God, and to try to um show the light of Christ. It's just, this stuff is kind of hot right now. Everybody's just kind of like, jumping on the bandwagon of Roman Catholicism and Eastern Orthodoxy, because they see a lot of these guys, they're online, and they think that these guys are I guess you would say, it seems like that these guys think that guys like Sam Shamoon and Jay Dyer, this is what masculinity is, when it's not. It's actually it actually show a sign of femininity. All right, if I got to be honest, because real men, especially Christian men, and I got to keep saying this, real Christian men do not portray themselves as reactional and without self control. So if you can't really have a decent conversation with someone, and you can't be able to disagree with someone in a respectful manner, then that really shows that you might not be walking in the admonition of the Lord. You might not be walking with Christ. Actually, I'm going to say that you're not walking with Christ if you're one of these people who are like these ortho bros, and you get on here and you're crashing out and you're cussing. And yeah, you guys seen the short that I did, that I posted a while back. And actually, shout out to the Christian King. I'm going to go ahead and give him a horn. The Christian King brought this out, where he did a live stream where there was this ortho bro. He came on to, I'm trying to remember this guy's channel. trying to remember this guy's channel. I forgot it. I forgot the guy's name. I forgot the guy's name. But it's a Christian guy. They were having these dialogues. That's when they had. I think it was Matt Slick. So Matt Slick was on the channel, and he was having conversations with these Ortho Bros and Roman Catholics. So this one Ortho Bro gets on here, and and he's just crashing out. So they're asking. So they're basically telling the guy, "Hey, listen, just calm down. Let's just try to have a conversation." Oh man, I can't remember the guy's name. Oh, the Think Institute. Yes, that's who it was. Yeah, TJ got it. It was the Think Institute. Excuse me. So the Think Institute was basically telling the guy, and he says, "Listen, just calm down, man. Conduct yourself like a man." And for some reason, when he told the guy that, he really just flipped out. He started like, putting up the middle finger and he was using the F bomb and at the end, before he jumped off of the panel, he called the guy the N-word. All right, now I don't know why he called the Think Institute the N-word. I don't know. That kind of just, really, really confused me. But it was just mind-boggling. But one of the things that the Think Institute said, he was just like, well, hey, listen, this is the fruits of Eastern Orthodoxy. This is the fruit of Eastern Orthodoxy. These guys, they get online and they claim that they're a part of the one true church, and they claim that they are a part of Christ's body and all of this stuff, and they got the fullness of the faith, but these guys act like straight demons. I mean, they're on straight demon time. So this whole Ortho Bro movement is something new. And again, it's a lot of these guys who are who just spend a lot of their time online. They don't have much interaction with people in the real world. These are people who are not regenerated. These are not people that are born again. And these people, they need prayer. They need the gospel just like everyone else, you know? So that's why I believe that guys like these Ortho Bros and a lot of these young Roman Catholic guys who are out here, who follow guys like Sam Shamoon and Jay Dyer and all of that, I believe that these guys, they need to be evangelized. They really need to be evangelized. We don't need to be linking arms with a lot of these people who act in such a manner, you know. So yeah, these Ortho Bros, they really need to we really need to continue to pray for them and continue to keep giving them the gospel. Continue to keep giving them the gospel, just like everybody else. And that's one of the reasons why I do what I do. And actually, you got a lot of these guys who do a lot of gaming and stuff like that. So hopefully, by me, hopefully I can do more and more streams like this. It depends on how much engagement I get, but hopefully I can reach some of these guys through gaming streams like this if I continue to do them. Sister Sheila says Sam has lost his mind. Yeah, y'all got to pray for Sam Shamoon as well. I think that there's a lot of things going on with Sam Shamoon mentally, and actually, I'm gonna say there are things going on with Sam Shamoon mentally because he's admitted it himself. All right, so Sam Shamoon has admitted that he has like these mental health issues and all of this stuff, and he asks people to pray for him. And what's so crazy is that Sam Shamoon would start off his streams and saying, hey man, I want everybody to pray for me. I'm dealing with bipolarism and this, that, and the third, and I'm not laughing, I'm not laughing at him, but he'll start off the stream like, I'm dealing with all of these mental issues, and then like as soon as he start the stream, he'll start using all types of foul language and calling people mothers, whores, and all of these types of things, and it's just like wait, well, hold on, you were just saying that you wanted people to pray for you, and you want God to deliver you from all these mental health issues, but you're using this type of language, you know? So, man, it's we got to pray for guys like that. I don't I don't think that it's all mental that's going on with Sam. I believe a lot of it is spiritual as well. I believe a lot of that stuff is spiritual as well, and I don't think that I think that some of the stuff that he's going through, I don't think that you can cure it with a pill or therapy, but I do believe that he may need some medication, and he may need some therapy. I'm not a doctor. I can't say definitively if that's something that he needs, or I can't diagnose him with that. But some of that stuff, I think is spiritual. I think some of that stuff is spiritual. And this is why we have to continue to exercise the power of prayer. You know. Yeah, TJ says, yeah, I mean, I was shocked when he turned on Jay Dyer. But here's the thing. Can we really be I mean, can we really be um shocked that those two actually went at it? I mean, we have two unregenerate people. I mean, you can't really be shocked that these guys, or surprised that these guys have went at each other. Because both of these guys are unregenerate. They don't have the spirit of God. Not one of them has the spirit of God, because let's just say if Sam Shamoon had the spirit or Jay Dyer had the spirit, right? Vice versa. Any one of them had the spirit of God. One person would just be like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and not even entertain the other person. Let me just not, entertain the other person. Let me just go on about my business, and just continue to pray for the other person. So, that's why they ended up going at each other, because, it's just two unregenerate people. Just two unregenerate people. Sister Sheila says, what? You trying to say that you don't know that Jay Dyer and Sam Shamoon had some problems or had some beef? Did they ever squash that? I don't know if they ever squashed that. Now they always talking about the fruits of Protestantism, but is that the fruits of Roman Catholicism? And is it the fruit of Eastern Orthodoxy? All right. I don't know. Y'all tell me. Oh yeah, actually, I need to scroll back up, because we also got the wifey. The wifey is up in the house. So I got 2 out of the 3 kids watching, and I got the wife watching. Go ahead and drop a bomb. See, listen, I do this for real, all right? See, my family actually loves me. My wife actually loves and respects me, and my children actually love and respect me as well. Let me see. Sheila Mahone says, I only know about Sam. Yeah, him and Jay Dyer, they kind of had a little back and forth. I want to say, what, maybe about a few months ago? This wasn't that long ago. This wasn't that long ago. So, I'm probably about to get off in a minute, but I'm seeing that people are starting to show up. More and more people are starting to show up to the live stream. So, I'm thinking about getting off in a minute. I just wanted to kind of test this out to see how receptive would people be to me gaming and, talking about some biblical stuff, some gospel-centered stuff. But if y'all got any more questions, go ahead and ask them, post them in the chat, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability while I'm also playing this game. All right. How many of y'all are familiar with Minecraft, or how many of y'all play Minecraft? Type of 1 if you guys play Minecraft or you are familiar with Minecraft. All right. TJ says, when do you think your next live will be on Catholic versus Protestant type topic? Now, I was thinking about a subject earlier. I'm trying to remember what the topic was that I was thinking about. I don't know. I'm thinking that I might do something maybe this upcoming Saturday, because I will have to travel for work. And I'm going to be working pretty hard in Midtown Atlanta this week. So I'm not really going to have any time at home to where I could do a live stream in the middle of the week, because I actually had to and I don't say this, proudly, but I actually had to fire a guy Friday. So and I tried to work with the guy, but he just was it was just a lot of things going on with him, his attitude and all of that stuff. Um, so yeah, I had to let him go Friday. So and before that, maybe about I think at the end of July, I had to fire the supervisor. Well, at correction, I didn't fire the supervisor. It was the regional and the community manager had to fire the supervisor. They just wanted me to be there. Um, so I lost the supervisor at the end of July. Then I had a tech quit. Maybe about 3 weeks ago. So I had a technician quit 3 weeks ago, and then I just had to fire a tech Friday. So this is a property where it's supposed to be 4 people there, and now I'm only down to one. So I went from a four crew property or 4 member staff at this property to now I'm down to one. So now I gotta try to put in some extra work. So yeah, it's tough being a boss. You know what I'm saying? It's tough being a boss. What did Sheila said? She says, you would have fired me. You would have to fire me too. Oh, listen, I'm gonna tell you like this, Sister Sheila. You probably wouldn't have gotten fired. You probably would have gotten hired. No, I'm just kidding. But listen, I mean, that is the most uncomfortable part of my job. Walking employees out, and it's just so awkward, man. It's really really awkward. Because a person comes in and and they're ready to work, or they're coming in like they're ready to work. Um, and then you got to call them into the office first thing in the morning, and then they just got they just got to work, and then you got to hand them their walking papers. That's actually the worst part of my job is having to or to be there when people are fired or when people are let go. And I mean, I've been doing I've had to let people go over the past, I want to say 10 years. 10 years I've been in a position to where I've had to hire people and fire people, and I'm telling you, you never get used to it. You never get used to it. And what makes it way more awkward is when corporate makes a decision to let somebody go, and they call you in to be the person to kind of walk that person out, and you have no idea why this person is being fired. you know so you have to show up, and you have to be the one to walk the person out, and you just like, I'm just walking around. I'm just walking you out, bro. I had no idea that you was getting fired this morning. I'm just here to walk you out. Sheila says, I've been fired from all my jobs. Says, I don't know. We gotta pray for you. We gotta pray for you. But you know what? I can't remember, and I'm not, trying to toot my own horn, but I can't remember if I've ever been fired from a job. Um, I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever. Oh, okay. Now I do remember where I did get where I got fired from a job, and and let me tell you the story real quick, because I'm actually about to get up out of here. So um I was working at this HVAC company. This was back in 2008, right? And this is when the recession had happened, and they were trying to find ways to let people go, and I think that I was the guy that they just wanted to let go at the time. Because I mean, my work ethic it has always been great. I've never had any issues with my work ethic. Nobody has ever had to write me up because I've been excessively late, or I just haven't been, just cutting the mustard. So I was working at this HVAC company, and the work it began to get scarce. So I ended up so the day before I had done this job. It was this HVAC install. And I want to let y'all go. I want to let y'all know that I'm not trying to play the race card. All right, I ain't trying to play the race card right now. But I'm just gonna tell y'all what happened. All right, so there was these guys, and you know it was a crew of white guys who had went to do this job, right? So they went to go do this install job, and it was a lot of work. So they called me and the other guy that I was working with. They called us up and they said, "Hey, listen, can you go help these other guys complete this job because it's taking longer than expected, and we just want to know, can you just ride up there and help the guys out?" So I said, "Yeah, all right, cool." So I get there and these guys are, they're working on on some other things, right? So what they wanted me to do was crawl up under this house and run this pipe, run this vent pipe. And I mean, it was really, really tight. It was really, really tight. So I was like, man, well, it has to be done. So let me just go up under there and just do what I got to do. Right. So now I get up under the house and I'm running the pipe. Now these guys are supposed to be doing this. This is their job. They're not doing it. So I get there and I'm up under the house. I'm running the pipe and, long story short, I get it done. Now, the whole time I'm up under the house doing everything that I need to do to try to get the job done, they're just standing around talking, not helping out at all. They're just standing around talking. And I'm like, well, they need to be doing some other stuff because, if they really trying to complete this job, they need to go ahead and finish up what they need to do since I'm already doing the hard part. So anyway, long story short, they didn't finish the job, so we had to come back out the next day anyway. So the next day, the boss tells me that, hey, you guys need to go out. You and your guys, y'all need to go back and finish the job. Now, it was me, a black guy, and a Hispanic guy. He says, you guys need to go back out and finish that job from last night. And I was just like, well, that's the other guy's job. Maybe you need to go send those guys back out to do the job because and the problem was that they were not going to pay us. I think they wasn't going to pay us anything extra for the job because the way that they did it at HVAC, whenever you do an install as an HVAC tech, they'll give you like a certain amount of money to go on your check. So like for instance, it was almost like commission based. So whatever piece of equipment you installed, you got a certain amount of money. So let's just say if you put in a furnace, it would be about, $400. If you put in a, condenser, that would be like another 300. So let's just say if y'all just put that piece of equipment in, that would be $700 to split between you and the person, whoever you work with. So since this wasn't my job, I would not get a piece of that money. I would actually be getting paid less to go and finish their job. And those guys would get the full pay like they actually completed the job. So they would basically benefit from my work and I wouldn't benefit from the work that I had put in on that job. So I let my voice be heard and I said, listen, I don't think that that's fair that these guys still get to get paid like they actually did the job, but you guys don't want to pay me for the work that I did. You guys don't want to just take the money that you were going to pay them and then give it to me, for making sure that the job is getting done. So, the supervisor, who was a white guy, he told me, he said, well, if you don't go back and finish that job, then you're fired. And I said, well, I guess I'm fired. And that was the first time, or I would say that probably was, I think that's the only time where I've ever gotten fired from a job. Yeah, I think every other job that I've had, and this was back in 2008, and ever since then, I've not been fired from a job. I've not been fired from a job. I've always resigned. Um, I don't know if I don't, okay, I walked off of one job. I walked off of one job because they accused me of stealing. And that's one thing about me. I don't steal. So, that's one thing that you're not going to do. You're not going to accuse me of stealing. So I did walk off of a job and I was back in 2011. But other than that, I've always put in my 2 week notice, and I've always, you know, kind of been respectful, always been cordial, because you don't want to burn bridges, especially while you're in certain industries, because certain people can block you. In certain industries, I've actually had to block people, right? I've actually seen people's resumes come through at some companies that I worked at, and I was just like, oh, I remember this guy, or I remember that lady who worked at the same company with me. And I'm just like, yep, let me go ahead and just throw that resume in the trash. But like, yeah, you won't be getting an interview. Or I'll tell somebody else, like, hey, listen, if I were you, I recommend not hiring that person, because that person is not going to be a good fit with the company. And I mean, I was telling the truth. It wasn't like, I had a personal beef with the person. But, I was just like, yeah, this person here, we had to let this person go because they were stealing, or this person was always late, or, something to that effect. So, and I never blocked people because it was, I had a personal vendetta against them. And usually whenever I'm at a job, it's never personal. I never try to get involved with people personally to where, my decisions on hiring or firing a person is based on how I feel about them personally. So, all right. But listen, guys, I think that is about it for me. Especially for this, test gaming stream. All right. It's kind of like a little testing gaming stream. And y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Do y'all want to see me do more of these live streams with gaming? Because what I plan on doing is that I plan on doing these pre-recorded, to where it's not going to be live. I'll probably do like uh, a pre-recorded gameplay, and I'll probably be doing like a teaching or touching on a certain topic or subject. And the video probably is probably going to be something like maybe no more than an hour long, but I'll probably try to keep it around the 30-minute or less mark, right? So I'll try to keep it, between 30 minutes, but no, I'm sorry, between 15 and 30 minutes, right? I'll try to keep it between 15 to 30 minutes. And what I'll do is that I'll touch on something like, let's just say predestination, or, eschatology, letting you guys know what I think about eschatology. And listen, I have my cousin. Listen, the fam is coming through tonight. That's my cousin Kiara. Hey Kiara, how have you been? How's the children? Wow, man. Grace and peace. Grace and peace to my cousin Kiara. Robert M says, go ahead and go for it. Man, listen, yeah, I think that I am going to try to make this something, um a regular occurrence on my channel. I might do a live stream gameplay every once in a while, but I think that I am going to do these Minecraft gameplays and kind of talk about some biblical stuff while I'm doing a gameplay. But, just to kind of give you guys a heads up, it's going to be pre recorded. And this is the way that I'm going to do it. I'm going to start an entirely new world. All right. I'm going to start it from scratch. All right. I'm not going to have any weapons, any food, no nothing. So I'm going to kind of label it like, episode 1, episode 2, so on and so forth, right? You know, let me see. Grace of Peace, she says she has another one on the way. Listen, go ahead and give a B3 for my cousin Kiara. All right, she got another one on the way. There we go. There we go. Come on. So which one is this going to be? Is this going to be number 3 or number 4? Is that number 3 or number 4? I'm going to wait for the cousin to respond back. Number 4. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Another B3. There we go. Keep them coming, sis. That's what I'm talking about. And listen, before anybody think that she just out there in them streets, no, she's married. Now, I want to know, sis, are you still married? All right. As long as you're still married, you can get the B3. But if you're not married, sis, I have to talk to you. I'm gonna have to talk to you. Yeah, but no, she's if I'm not mistaken, she's been married for a minute now. She's been married for quite a while. So yeah. Robert M. Yeah. Says amen. Amen. But listen, y'all, I'm getting ready to get up out of here. Thank y'all for showing up. Thank y'all for showing up. Trying to see what the cousin was gonna say, how she's gonna respond to that. Before I hit the end stream button. Actually, let me do this. Let me do this. I am going to see if I can redirect some of you guys over to see if I can redirect you guys over to another live stream before I wrap this one up. Let me do this. Copy this. Uh-oh. I don't know if I want to redirect to this one, but I think I am. I want to redirect y'all to this live stream. Uh-oh. I don't know, since I may have to talk to you. I'm sorry, Cuzzo. May have to talk to you. I just want to make sure that everything all right. I just want to make sure that everything is all good. But yeah, I mean, man, I didn't know that you had 4 kids. Now I knew that you had. I remember you had the 2, and I thought that I saw one time where you had you was pregnant with the 3rd one. But my cousin Kiara, I mean, she's not really on social media like that. She's actually one of the young folks that I see who are not really. I mean, she does social media, but she's not like a lot of y'all out here who's just constantly on social media, just posting and posting and posting. So, but yeah. Anyway, love all you guys. Yeah, just stay tuned. Just continue to stay tuned for new content. Gonna continue to keep doing these gaming streams. It seems like that I've got a lot of engagement from the family, the wife, the 2 kids, all of that. But anyway, before we get ready to get up out of here, y'all hit that like button, hit that notification bell if you are a new subscriber. Rate this video, share it, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And let me see if I can set this up real quick. Let me see. Yeah, and I guess I'll just see you guys next time. Lord willing, peace.